Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Asian Psycho, and we're gonna get started on the 33rd chapter of the Exploring the Arsenal series, featuring me, Asian Psycho, aka Dope Sniper 98. And this time we're gonna be taking a look at the K3 family of machine guns. The K3 is technically part of the wide range of guns in the family called starting with the K series that includes the K1A, the K7, the K2, the K3, all the Ks that you want to name out there, K5s. They're all like they cover a broad range of weapon types, so it's kind of like a weird kind of family there, but nonetheless they're still all kind of related in some way. At least they're all from the same manufacturer, so whatever. Anyways, the gun we're going to be taking a look at today is the K3. It is a machine gun, and it's kind of comparable to the Mini-Me in that it's one of the weaker yet faster firing machine guns. So, without further ado, let's get started on the K3 review. Now a little bit of background information on the K3 machine gun. It is unlocked at Staff Sergeant 1, and it costs 1050 GP a day, so it's one of the more expensive machine guns. Damage on the K3 is a 40 damage. Now this is very, very low for machine guns, but mostly you're going to be seeing other machine guns deal easy 40, around the mid 40s range, but the K3 is an anomaly in that it only deals a 40 damage. Compared to like normal weapons like assault rifles and some machine guns, this is actually pretty strong, but for machine guns this is actually pretty weak. And if you guys know or have used machine guns extensively before, if you try out the K3, you'll definitely know that the K3's damage isn't necessarily the best, and this K3 machine gun is definitely not indicative of what machine guns' true powers are in terms of straight up damage, that is. Portability wise, it is the same as the Mini-Me at 35. I like it how the description on the K3 says it is an extremely light machine gun. It's like, really, what? It's a machine gun. It's the weighs the same as the Mini-Me, so it's not you're not gonna be able to run around with it super fast like the description says you will. But whatever, it's a machine gun. You gotta get used to it one way or another. Rate of fire on the K3 is the most important aspect of the K3. The K3 boasts an extremely fast fire rate of 82. Off the top of my head, I don't know if there's a machine gun that fires faster. Maybe the MG42 series, but I'm not too sure about that. But the rate of fire is definitely one of the highest of machine guns on K3. It has an 82 rate of fire, and compared to the Mini-Me, which also fired pretty fast, but pretty dang fast as well, the Mini-Me had a 79 rate of fire. And if you compare that, that's 3 whole points more that the K3 has in terms of sheer rate of fire over the Mini-Me. In fact, I feel like it should be higher. I feel like the K3 fires way too fast for the Mini-Me to only be or to only have a 3-point increase over the Mini-Me's rate of fire. I think it should have like 84, 85 easy, but that's just my opinion. Nexon can do whatever they want in terms of stats, so yeah, the rate of fire is the key defining characteristic and aspect of the K3 machine gun. It is the reason why the main selling point of the K3 machine gun, the reason why you should use it. The accuracy on the K3 is a little bit lower than the Mini-Me at 58. Keep in mind that I believe the M60 also had either an accuracy of 58 or 59, somewhere around that. So comparatively, so it's probably the average of the average of machine guns, if not the lower tier. So accuracy wise, it's not going to be too strong compared to other machine guns, but then again, it's a machine gun, so why would you care about the accuracy anyway? Recoil wise is actually pretty heavy on the K3, whereas the Mini-Me and other heavy recoil machine guns like the M60 and the MK48 series had like 71 recoil. The K3 surprisingly has 73. Now this is rather not kind of conventional of machine guns like the K3. Usually the lower damage but faster rate of fire machine guns have a typically have less recoil than the other ones do, but K3 for some reason just has a 73 recoil. I don't know why, but let's jump into the actual the individual characteristics of the recoil itself as pertained to the K3. The K3 spread is what makes the recoil, what I'm guessing is what makes Nexon give the K3 a total recoil of 73. The recoil spread is actually pretty large on the K3, and it can get very, very much out of hand. It can get even bigger than the MK48s if you're really not careful, but then at that point you'd have to just be strafing around, jumping around, doing whatever you can, and then like spraying fully automatic to get your maximum spread. So usually you don't have to worry about the K3's recoil going too out of hand, but it is definitely a concern that you need to take into account. Also, one thing about the recoil spread is that the recoil spread seems to enlarge rather slowly at first, but then once you start hitting like the if you've started with a full clip of a full belt feed of 100 rounds, as soon as you just start spraying, holding that left click, as soon as you hit like the 90 or 80 bullet mark, you're gonna find that your spread enlarges increasingly faster. So keep that in mind. Make sure to burst fire and don't just hold down that left trigger or hold down that left click just wholesale, because I mean you want to control the shots on the K3, you know. So yeah, that should be it for the recoil spread. The recoil kickback on the K3 is actually very low. It's comparable to the mini-me, at least in my opinion anyway. So that's why I don't really get why Nexon gave the K3 a total recoil of 73, but alas, they did anyway. I think it's a little bit lower than that, but the spread is what's bad on the K3, or it could be bad. The kickback itself isn't necessarily as bad as people might think. Overall, the recoil controllability is more on the difficult side, because the mini-me I personally think it's easier to control the recoil on the mini-me than it is on the K3, because the K3's rate of fire, even though it is very much faster than the mini-me's, it's because of that faster rate of fire that that doesn't allow you the same kind of recoil controllability that the mini-me offers, so that may present a problem in itself. Tapfire Ability. Tapfire Ability on the K3 is possible, but then again, why would you? It's a machine gun. You should spray. Moving on to the sprint drawback, because it is a machine gun, I mean the sprint drawback isn't necessarily going to be the best, and the mechanics and overall performance of the K3 kind of do harken to the mini-me, the M60, and the MK48. So yeah, their mechanical aspects are all the same. Moving on to the draw speed, it's once again the same as a mini-me and all those other GPU standard machine guns, so nothing to worry about there. Reload speed, same thing, don't need to cover it again. Fire mode's only available in fully automatic. Luck, it's actually it's highly lucky. I think in this gameplay you'll actually see me get quite a few lottos, especially across range, so there you go. There you have it. K3, it does have a pretty high luck to associate with it, at least in my opinion anyway. Ammo capacity, it has a standard 100 round belt feed magazine and 100 bullets in reserve, so nothing too special there. Moving on to the key physical characteristics. The K3, before on my box gun review, I mentioned that the box gun kind of has that K3 frame, except it's just made out of cardboard, so this is where the box gun takes its original gun frame, the K3. So there you go. The K3 does kind of look like the mini-me if you just glance at them side to side, though you will notice that the K3 actually has an actual solid buttstock, and yeah, that's about it. Other than that, it's actually pretty similar looking to the mini-me in terms of just their profile pictures on the Common Arms Arsenal. Muzzle noise. The muzzle noise actually does sound a lot like the mini-me as well. I think there's a slight discrepancy between the two muzzle noises, but for the most part you won't really be able to tell like which gun people are using just by the gun sounds alone. Moving on to the attachment options. The attachment options, once again, as with most other machine guns, you can only attach extended magazines or magazine modifications in general to the K3, because that is a machine gun. You can't really attach suppressors or scopes to machine guns and combat arms, so hell, that's just too bad. Anyways, fire team worthy, as with most other machine guns or all other machine guns, the K3 obviously is pretty good for a fire team. It's not as good as other machine guns, obviously, because of its low rate of low damage, but it's still a machine gun. Take it for what it is. So it's got to be decent in its fire team. So whatever. Quarantine, yes, it is, depending on how you want to look at it. It is a faster firing machine gun, so more bullets hitting your targets, hitting zombies, will push them back further. So if you want to think of it that way, then by all means, go ahead. Moving on to the my frank personal opinions on the K3. The K3, in all honesty, isn't really that great of a machine gun. All it has to its name is its very fast rate of fire. However, if you do exploit its, well, not really exploit, but if you do take advantage of its rate of fire to its fullest potential by only keeping your engagements to close quarters combat only, then you will destroy people, because the rate of fire from a machine gun, an 82 rate of fire from a machine gun, is very tough to beat. And even if someone has a submachine gun, if you manage to control your recoil and put all your shots on target, then it's going to be very difficult for anyone else to beat you in a close quarters gunfight when you have the K3. And they have something, some other weapon. So K3's rate of fire is what makes is the only reason, the sole reason that the K3 is different from the others. But if you don't, but at the same time, the K3 is a very tricky machine gun to use. So because of the very fact that its rate of fire is just so high that its recoil controllability might not be the best for most people. So yeah, those are my frank personal opinions. If you are an avid fan of machine guns, I do suggest you guys check out the K3, but I don't expect you guys to just like it from the very start, from the very get-go. So, I mean, you do take my words with a grain of salt here, that K3, even though it potentially could be very good, it probably won't be for you guys. So, unfortunately, that's what you're going to have to risk there. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This has been the K3 review, and next up will be the K3 SPW, which is the NX, or not the NX, but the GP rare variant of the K3 machine gun. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next review. One last thing before I forget, the K3 is able to be customized, but the level of customization that pertains to the K3 is not very significant. I don't really recommend that you customize the K3 because I don't think there's really much of a difference that you'll feel with the K3. Maybe the damage, so it can deal more damage, but other than that, I don't think the customizations are worth it. So anyways, guys, that was a little quick thought on the customizations aspect on the K3, and hope you guys have enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys later.
Round start.